Okay, we're going to start now. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Women Wellness Majlis. I'm Yasmin, and I'll be your host for today. Today's event is really special. We've put together something really meaningful and supportive just for you. But before we dive into our discussion, I want to share a little bit about what is Women Wellness Majlis and why did we start it. So when I was hosting women's circles in Riyadh, I noticed how many women were juggling multiple roles, leading to feelings of overwhelm, exhaustion, and disconnect from themselves. And that happens when you're juggling with multiple roles. So, and I'm sure that most of us went through that. And I'm sure most of us went through that at some point in our lives. And then it became clear to me that in order for us to truly shine in our essence, we need to feel secure, empowered, and connected. And this is the core purpose of Elevate Women. We're here to provide you with the tools and resources to help you and thrive in your life. We're kicking off this series in what we envision as an ongoing series dedicated to women's wellness. When women are well, everything around us benefits: our families, our workplaces, our communities. But we all know how easy it is to put ourselves last and to keep pushing through even when we take care of ourselves. When we're pushing through, even when we're running on empty fuel. That's why today's discussion is very important, because when we take care of ourselves, we are better able to show up for the people, communities, and organizations that we're a part of. I also want to highlight that we have seen tremendous growth and progress here in Saudi Arabia, with women becoming a vital part of the workforce. We have surpassed our Vision 2030 target years ahead of schedule, with female workforce participation nearly doubling to 36% by 2022. This is an incredible achievement, and we want to ensure that we not only sustain the momentum of achievement, but we also want to ensure that these incredible women who are driving this change were able to sustain their talent and nurture them, ensuring that women continue to be successful in their professional lives. Now, globally, women are facing incredible pressures. According to McKinsey report, women, particularly those in leadership roles, are 1.5 times more likely to experience burnout than men due to the dual pressures of professional and personal responsibilities. Deloitte's research further highlights that 77% of women are reporting an increase in workload and stress over the past years. Now, these statistics emphasize the urgent need to address these growing issues. So let me walk you through today's structure. We'll be exploring our theme, that is, how do we break the cycle of burnout and stress, through 3 key segments. So the first segment will start by discussing the realities of burnout, causes of burnout, how can we identify burnout, and how does it impact us as women. Then we'll shift to look into effective strategies that organizations and companies can implement to support employee well-being and prevent burnout. And finally, we'll talk about how to find balance and harmony in our lives with practical tips that you can start using right away. And after these segments, we'll open the floor for question and answers. So if you want to ask any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat here and we can address them later on. And we'll wrap it up with the closing remarks. So now, let me introduce you to our incredible speakers who will guide us through these important topics. First, we have Lulua Hamza. She is a certified holistic health and wellness coach. Lulua is dedicated to helping individuals create meaningful, sustainable lifestyle changes. Her approach is holistic, incorporating fitness, emotional support, stress management, personal development, nutrition, gut health, and fostering a positive mindset. All of this comes together to help her clients achieve a more balanced and harmonious lifestyle. Our next speaker is Lamia Kurdi, a seasoned leader in people and organizational development with over 23 years of expertise in human capital management. Throughout her career, Lamia has been committed to driving strategic HR initiatives and cultivating organizational excellence. She held key roles at prominent organizations, including her current position as Shared Services Director at Al Nahdi Family Office. With her wealth of experience and deep understanding of human capital management, Lamia is a driving force in shaping effective people strategies and achieving organizational success. So, grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea and let's get comfortable and let's start this. Lulua, I'd like to start by asking you, what are some of the most common health issues that women face due to workplace stress and burnout, and how can these issues be identified early?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Yasmin. So I'm going to start with explaining what is a burnout as a definition. Burnout is an exhaustion of physical or emotional strength or motivation, usually because of prolonged stress or frustration due to overstress and overdrive at work. I've segmented 6 issues. Some of the health issues women face due to stress and burnouts are the first and most common one that I've seen and keep hearing about is an unhealthy lifestyle. A lot of people tend to smoke, drink too much coffee, little movements, and poor quality of meals, a sedentary lifestyle issue. The second is mental health issues. Anxiety is on the rise, caused by overwhelming feelings, overthinking, being always on overdrive at work. And sometimes it leads to detachment to life and from work and having no motivation to get out of bed and emotional exhaustion and mental exhaustion, which could lead to clinical depression and panic attacks. These are really serious issues that people tend to think it's normal because of stress, but these are really quite obvious health issues that really need to be addressed. After the mental health, obviously, the physical health is another issue that a lot of people start getting fatigue from. Chronic stress is a real thing. So you get fatigued, you get gut health issues, which in the Arab world we all know as al-qalon. People think that these are all normal things to feel and experience, but it really isn't. These are all red flags for us to really address what's going on with our body and to really see what is going on. Physical health issues could be also eyesight problems from being exposed to laptops 8-9 hours every day, stigmatism, chronic diseases such as high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart diseases. So these are all physical health issues that could eventually, if you leave early symptoms, could really lead to serious health issues. Sleeping disorder is a really big one. People are not being able to switch off, which leads to sleep insomnia, sleep apnea, clenching your jaws when you're sleeping because you're just thinking, you're stressed out, you're thinking about the to-do list. The fourth health issue could be menstrual problems for ladies, irregular periods, hormonal issues, PCOS, fertility problems. These are all big health issues for women. And a lot of us talk about, I've missed this, I've missed that. But really, these are all concerns that we really should be aware of them by now. And we have, people are shedding light to these health issues for women, specifically at workplace with stress. Last but not least, weight changes. Stress causes changes in appetite and eating habits. So you're either going to overindulge with food or underindulge with food, which causes either obesity or, being too skinny and having health issues with that as well. So these are like the 6 issues that I personally think women should be aware of when they're overstressed or they're feeling these symptoms, because this could be a real burnout and really needs to be looked into.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's very important to identify and be aware about these symptoms so we can identify them early on and address them early on before it gets serious.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next question that I have for you. What lifestyle modifications can women make to combat the stress and improve their overall well-being?
Okay, so there's two areas women can make lifestyle modifications to reduce stress and improve their overall well-being. I will discuss each area at length, and I've divided them into two categories, which is the first area is a healthy lifestyle. Number one, making time for yourself. When I ask my colleagues or friends, when did you last spend valuable time with yourself? It's a question that's kind of like, I don't remember. And that is something that really needs to start being one of your priority things. How are you spending time with yourself? How are you relaxing? How are you unwinding? How are you doing the things that you enjoy doing, things that you want to do? So really making time for yourself is a big lifestyle modification that I think should be up there in self-love and self-care. Making daily healthy habits. So by breathing, meditating, breathing. I actually want to recommend, there's something called pranayama breathing. There's box breathing. So look into different ways of breathing, because that really helps centers you to start your day well. Healthy meals and snacks. So people tend to grab the coffee and go for work. Replace the coffee with a green juice. Green juice actually really boosts energy in the morning. And if you're a coffee drinker, at least try to reduce your coffee intake to 1 cup. If you're someone who's anxious and jittery, try to replace your coffee with a matcha or a tea, because it really does affect your nervous system. Having healthy meals. A lot of people just think, oh, it's easier to get a sandwich or junk food at work. Start thinking about what you're putting into your body. Healthy meals. Instead of fried, get grilled. Start thinking, incorporating vegetables and fruits. Your snacks don't have to be artificial sugar and Kit Kat and Mars and all of that. Start having dates, start having nuts, start having fruits, and you'll see the difference in your energy and even your body. I mean, if you're gonna eat garbage, you're gonna feel pretty low. But if you start nurturing your body with the right fuel of vegetables and fruits, then you'll see a really big difference. Body movements. We tend to sit hours in front of the laptop, not moving. So sedentary lifestyle. A lot of us feel energy depletion. Move, even if it's from sitting, standing up, doing your meetings, moving around, taking breaks. So being mindful about these things. Then we go to the second part, which is emotional well-being. Emotional well-being is a really big one, but I'm going to try to really cut it down. Seek help. A lot of us feel like when we're overwhelmed or stressed out that it's okay and we just brush it off, continue, and that's not okay, because your body and your mental well-being is really important. Go see a therapist, go see a coach if you feel stuck. Get someone to help you and support you throughout the journey. Everyone gets support. Everyone needs help. It's really okay to get help from a therapist or a coach. Establish healthy boundaries. I mean, we tend to be at work, everything, we can take it. Set boundaries in terms of, okay, I'm done with work. I'm going to try to go home and disconnect. We take work to the home and from home to work, and that's just not okay. Having a work-life balance is a challenge, but it's really something that you really need to start doing it, because no one will do it for you. If you don't put boundaries, work is work and my personal life and my life is something else. No one else is going to do it for you. Communication is third. I mean, communicate. If you're overwhelmed or you're stressed out at work, speak to your manager. Start communicating. Say that I'm not being able, I've got full overload work? Can we, delegate some work? Can I get some help? And starting that communication series with your manager is very healthy. Having adequate sleep, people think sleep is a luxury. Sleep is essential. Sleep is where your body repairs. It's where you're actually, getting yourself ready for the next day to be at full energy. If you don't sleep well from 6 to 8 hours every day, then we're really starting to have a lot of health issues as well related to sleep deprivation. Taking magnesium glycinate really helps to calm down the nervous system so you sleep. Having a healthy sleep schedule, staying away from anything stimulating before you go to bed, trying not to see work email before you go to bed because you're going to think about the to-do list for tomorrow. So just really being mindful about these things, engaging in hobbies and interests that make you feel alive, whether it's dancing, whether it's a hiking club, whether it's a reading club. Just, our interests and our hobbies is what makes us alive. So really connecting with what you really want to do as a hobby or an interest. And then digital detoxing, last but not least. I mean, we're always plugged in, whether it's your iPad, whether it's your iPhone, whether it's just take time off your phone and social media, because we're constantly bombarded with information, whether it's work, whether it's social media, whether just take time off it. Try to read, try to just put candles and just relax and breathe. So these are the two areas. Healthy lifestyle and emotional well-being is where I think lifestyle modifications comes in for women.
Thank you, Lulua, for those insightful thoughts. I think what you mentioned is very important. Taking time for yourself, breathing, breath work. I think a lot of people don't underestimate the benefits of breath work. And healthy meals and snacks, again, like completely taking care of your mind, body, and soul. So eating healthy, green juice, which you mentioned, replacing coffee. I think that's a little hard one.
No, trust me, it's one of those that you just get used to it, and it really does make a difference.
Yeah, I think we need a separate workshop on how to switch from coffee to green juice. How to rewire your mind. I think everything comes from rewiring your subconscious, and regulating nervous system is a big one. It is key, and it's a key in helping us deal with stress. And there's so many ways that you can do to regulate your nervous system. Body movements that you mentioned, great one. Emotional well-being, very important. Setting boundaries and digital detox. So that's amazing. Thank you for sharing those thoughts. Ladies, if you have any questions for Lulua, please feel free to type them in the chat now, and we can address it now or towards the end of this session. Okay. Okay, we're receiving some questions, but we're gonna move on now to segment 2, and we'll address them towards the end to maintain the time. I'm gonna have here Lamia. Hello, Lamia. Now
Hello, everyone.
let's turn our focus to the organizational side. Lamia, you bring a wealth of knowledge on how businesses can create environments that prevent work burnout and support employee well-being. I'd like to ask you, what are the most common signs of job burnout that managers or leaders should look out for, and how can they address them?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Yasmin and Lulu. I think Lulu, she just mentioned like a common symptoms, or if you allow me to say it, or sign to the burnout as an overall perspective. But let's focus when it comes to from the work perspective. And before I answer this question, just to I have a unique things I would like to share here, that sometimes we are as a leader or a manager or in a position we are managing people, we forget that we are a human as well, and sometimes we pressure ourselves more and this from this perspective, and we might by coincidence lead us to end up having burnout for sure. So let's keep this in mind. And I always believe on a code, practice what you preach, and this is always remind you that to keep notifying yourself that if you start to have any symptoms or sign. So going back to the questions, for sure, we can actually address that, or we can actually identify that by having two approach. One, it's like a quick observation by simply, first of all, we can just notice that by it will be like an identifiable decrease in productivity, especially for the employees who are normally efficient, and they may struggle to complete task or commit to any accountability or any task that has been handled to them. Also, there is an important things that we need to also consider and observe when we have like a reduce in the engagement level. When we say engagement, that means the relationship between the employee and the company. How we can keep our employee engaged and excited every day when they woke up in the morning going to work. So and this is will lead us to the others actually a sign like emotion exhausting. You will feel like there is like noticeable fatigue, frustration, or anger can pop up suddenly, either in a meetings or in decent discussions in the corridor or etc. Also, there are some physical symptoms like issue like continuous headache, as Lulu mentioned, or insomnia, or even stomach problem, colitis or whatever, as Lulu described in details. Also, there is symptoms that sometimes we don't notice it immediately, which is the isolation. When we see like an employee with all of a sudden he was full of life, very interactive, very full of energy, and with all of a sudden he been like, or he or she start to be isolated. They don't like to gather or have like chit chat and in the break area, or even in the like corridors, or even during the break time. And last but not least, also the increase in the absenteeism or punctuality. And this is something it's very hard to actually identify, especially if the organization applying the flexible hour and the work-life balance, and applying the work remotely. This is something it's really hard to identify. But however, frequent unexplained absence or can be a red flag, or it can be a clear symptoms or sign to assure that the employee have a job burnout. This is like, as I told you, this is the approach that we can notice it, or also we can find like a free tools. I prepare something I will share with you right now, the link, if you can join it. Let me share my screen. So there is like a unique or a quick questions has been published by Mayo Clinic, and it's very useful. All of us, we can we go through it, or we can even create like a pulse survey, or we can use like a free tools like what I'm using right now, menti.com, and you can have like a quick assessment in terms to evaluate or assess if any of your employees or subordinate having sign or symptoms to the job burnout. So like, as you can see, the first question, do you have a question, do you question the value of your work? The answer, it has to be by yes or no. The second question is, do you drag yourself to work and have a trouble getting started? Also, the answer, it has to be by yes or no. The third question, do you feel removed from your work and the people you work with? Have you lost patience with the coworker, customer, or client? Do you lack the energy to do your job well? Is it hard to focus on your job? Do you feel little satisfaction from what you get done? Do you feel let down by your job? Do you feel let down by your job? This is a repetitive questions. Are you using food or supplement to feel better or to numb your feeling? Have you sleep? Have your sleep habit changed? Have your sleep habit changed? I don't know why the questions has been actually repeating. So this is like a quick assessment that you can actually use, and it's free. And I think if you get like one or two, yes, this is a red flag that you are, as a manager or in a position that you're managing people, you need to take action further. So the second part of your question, Yasmin, how we can address them, actually with the several way. First of all, doing the quick assessment that I just explained, having accessibility to the best practices. This is something, it's really an important, and designing a cohesive well-being program. This is something, it's very important. And when I mention a cohesive well-being program, we need to take care that this cohesive program has to cover the 7 dimension when it comes to designing the well-being. The first dimension is the career dimension. Second dimension is the environmental dimension. Then the psychological dimension, spiritual dimension, financial dimension, social dimension, physical dimension, and last but not least, the emotion dimension. So all this dimension will cover all the aspects, and it will help you to design a tailor-made program that address the company culture, address the current employee needs based on the assessment that you conduct earlier, and it will help you for sure to start have a clear action plan and take things further. And it's very important, honestly, before you start or moving to the action part, that you have to have like a strike balance between recognizing your employees' effort and maintaining the professional standard, in order to avoid reaching to a stage that over-indulgence can, because over-indulgence really can lead to unrealistic expectation and reduce productivity as well.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And we have a lot of questions coming up for you, Lamia. But before we address them, I wanted to ask you one more thing. How can leaders create a culture that can support our well-being? How do you think they should participate, and what are some of the steps they can take?
This is something, it's not an easy, and even sometimes while I'm answering these questions, I need to take into consideration that we are, as a leader or in a position that we are leading others, we need, first of all, we need to lead by examples. We need to be model behavior. We need to practice what we are preaching, honestly. We need to have like full transparency with our team. We need to have a fair policy designed and built based on best practice, based on the internal environment and culture that the company, and the most important things, designed based on the company value, because everything will be built on the company value. Even the company value, sometimes it will be one of a key element that help the employee be part of the organizations. And even I think most of us has been in a situation doing an interview at any new company, and we will see like more of the questions are tackling the behavioral and the value background, and this is a very important things. Having also a clear communication practice. When we say communication practice, we for sure I meant here the open door policy, for sure with a certain boundaries, because sometimes employees they when we say something, yani, they took it for granted, and they think that if at any moment I can just go and knock the door and just try to address the issue or the concern that I have. For sure, we need to do that based on the priorities and based on the matter itself. In addition to that, the regular check-in. The regular check-in, that's mean the non-official meetings or feedback sessions, because I always encourage either my peer or my colleagues to have this in continuous base, because this is for sure like it will be like a door opener in order to address any things can pop up immediately.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lamia. Before we move on to the next segment, we have a question that is for both of you, Lamia and Lulua. Duna, she's asking us, do you think that this issue, stress, is related to the amount of work or the environment? Who wants to start first?
If you allow me, I think it's a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
Because the work, there is like a strong relationship between the work and environment, for sure. And that's why we always in the organization, we keep saying that we need to build a healthy work environment. When we mention healthy work environment, that's mean not a well-structured interior design or etc. For sure, and if having so, it will be an added, it's a plus. But when we say healthy work environment, that's everyone can speak friendly, if there is like a healthy relationship between co-worker, the clear accountability and has been communicated clearly with the employees. A clear, a well-structured brainstorming session in order to discuss business and expectation for the upcoming period or upcoming year. Having all this actually factors, for sure, it will help to have a clear communication. It will have to have a clear or to have emphasize that transparency level, and assure to decrease the workload as well.
Thank you so much for that. Lulua, would you like to add something to it?
I totally agree with Lamia. It's definitely a combination. But I can also add something, a quote that I really love, which is, stress is not what happens to us, it is our response to what happens. And response is something we can choose. So I think you preparing yourself to be grounded and centered on a daily basis and going to work with, stress at work is something that's common. So you have to take care of yourself and how you respond to environment or stress. So if you ground yourself and if you do the practice of meditation and breathing, you are more in control of how to respond to stress. And grounding yourself and centering yourself is a really good practice to do it on a daily basis.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that is very important, grounding yourself and having an intention. And I think challenges are stress is going to be part of our lives from time to time. But as you said, it's very important. How is our relationship with these emotions? How is our relationship with our emotions? How is our relationship with our challenges? How do we respond instead of reacting, how do we deal with it? And that comes from really understanding ourselves. And that's amazing. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing that. Let's move on to the next question. I think this is not a question. This is a lot. There's a lot of questions in this question. So what should employees do if the management is unsupportive? Lamia?
Actually, this is an unexpected question, honestly. So here, actually, it will be depend on the person, her or himself. He will have like two options here: either to continue because he is either in need or he don't have like something something in hand to be working, or the second approach is, which is I truly believe in, that I need to reach this feeling or this voice to the management. I need to address it in order to be like a productive employee who really care about the company, care about his position, and even care about his team or coworker. Maybe other second question will raise here, even if I did that, what, and there is nothing actually has been taken. I can take this like and consider myself I'm happiness ambassador, and start to do like a unique activities between me and the rest of my co-worker or the rest of my the team in the company, in order to have like more positive vibes and energy. And the last actually option here, you need to admit that if this is not the right place to work with, you need to encourage yourself to think about it and consider that you need to be an added value and find a healthy work environment to work with.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lamia. I think the last part, Lulua is going to cover it in her next segment, which is touching on that. Working in a male-dominated industry exerts more pressure on women to perform. So, like, how do we maintain that? And how can, we balance ourselves? So we'll move into the next. I think we have 3 minutes left. Lamia, would you like to add something else?
Actually, I don't think يعني this this actually concept exists currently يعني with all this major transformation happening in Saudi Arabia. However, sometimes in certain like environment or work environment, they might have this pressure on women to perform due to the like unfair comparison between women, or due to the gender equity or etc. But I believe always that actions speak louder than words. So if I think about it as an issue and turn it to an opportunity to prove to anyone actually doubting or emphasizing this concept, I think this will be the solution. And can be done with several ways, like have an outstanding result, have an outstanding things to be achieved and delivered by women. I think can be a great evidence or proof to correct this concept.
Thank you, Lamia, for those wonderful insights. If you have any more questions for Lamia, please feel free to add it, share them on the chat, and we can take it towards the end of our program. Now we're moving into our next and final segment, which is finding balance and harmony. So Lulua, I'd love for you to share some practical tips with us. What are some small everyday actions that women can take to reconnect with their inner selves and achieve a sense of fulfillment and balance? Any tips on how to do that? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Lamia. That was really very insightful. And continuing what Lamia was saying about the circle of life, the question is, where are you in the circle of life? So circle of life, I like to think of it as is my pie of life, whether it's career, finance, spirituality, nutrition, movement, and kind of just, putting out of 100%, where are you at with each segment in your life, and then seeing where your imbalances are and kind of working on how you can increase that imbalance to make it more balanced and more harmonious. I usually go with identifying what nourishes my mind, body, and soul to start with. So for my mind, I'm giving an example for myself so you can start to think for yourselves as well. For mind, I usually go for reading, audiobooks, podcasts on anything that interests me. So I'm obviously very big on listening to podcasts, relationships, how to find fulfillment in life, what is happiness, and all these topics that really nourish my mind. For my body, I do a lot of movements. I love dancing. I love walking. I love swimming. So as soon as I feel like, okay, I'm overthinking, I go into my body. What can I do to my body right now that can help me feel more rejuvenated and happier? And then the soul is very personal. I personally go into praying. I go into reading my awradi, tasbih, dhikr. So you have to identify the three things and put what can actually nourish that for you. And then another thing I think about is our feminine energy. It's a whole topic by itself, but I think you starting to realize how to get in touch with your feminine energy, because us working, we are very much in our male masculine energy. We're, our work oriented, tasks to be done, analytical. That's very, very masculine. So when you're off work, try to start thinking about, how can I get in touch with my nourishing, creative, inspiring side? So for me, for example, I play with dancing, I play with flower arrangements. It really makes me creative, the colors. So really start writing down for yourselves, what could make me feel more nourished. And journaling is another way of writing down, your anything that's not serving you, any feelings or feelings that are serving you, just writing things down. I personally like Jarir has a lot of good journals with amazing prompts, because with journaling, I find a lot of women tell me, but I don't know what to write, I don't know where to start. So get journals that have prompts that help you to start writing. Go out in nature, breathe fresh air, whether it's by the sea, whether it's just in a park, or connecting with nature, grounding, feeling, you know other than just being in offices and in front of laptops. Create a vision board. I have a vision board that I start every year in the beginning of the year, and I keep adding to it. So opening magazines or going online, browsing things that get the inner dreamer in you up and going. Don't ever just side it. Like, whatever your dreams are, start putting them in this vision board. I promise you, things happen. This vision board of mine, I put it and I'm like, oh, this is a fantasy, and it happens. So actually start doing it and have that inner dreamer in you, that creative. That's such a feminine energy, by the way. Get it awakened. Remember that food is information to your cells. It's not just calories. Whatever you put into your body is actually your long-term investment in yourself, because health and well-being is the one thing you can't actually buy. You're going to have to actually invest from now, whether what you're eating, your well-being, what are you doing on your daily routines that is actually contributing to your longevity, to your health and well-being, your energy. That's all on you. It's your responsibility. So really start caring about what you're putting into your body, food wise. Learn something new. Get your neurons other than work. Get whatever your hobby is, whatever you're interested in life. Start learning about it. Start having new information other than just tasks of to-do list of every day just at work. Doing something kind every day, actually, whatever it is, it's as simple as helping a colleague. It's as simple as getting a healthy snack and giving it to a colleague. That's a mood booster.
Mhm.
Yes, sunlight, day sunlight. We're all, if you're in Saudi, you're getting a lot of sun, but none of us actually sit in it. Get vitamin D. It helps you with your circadian rhythm. It adrenal glands. It's very important to get sunlight. Don't wear sunglasses all the time. So these are like really few things that can help you to connect with yourself, to feel good about yourself, and to really start putting daily habits that really nourish and make you feel good before going to work or after you leave work.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lulua. Great tips. I wanted to, we have one more question that I want to share here. Maybe Lulua, you can take this and then we can ask Lamia as well. How can women support each other at work if they see their coworkers stressed?
Tell them to breathe. So Yasmin, the beginning of this talk, she was like, let's do a breathing. I was like,
Breathe,
let's.
girl.
So actually, these things, it sounds funny, but really breathing when you're stressed out, because
Mm,
breathing helps you calm down the nervous system. You go from sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system. So from being stressed out and the communication is like, oh my God, we're fighting and flighting right now, to everything is okay. And you can just do that by breathing.
yeah,
And I think honestly, one really good tip, if you see a friend or a colleague just being stressed out, tell them to take a break. Tell them to go pray. Tell them to go for a walk. Tell them to go get water and start breathing. Let them disconnect from what they're doing, because they're clearly in that cycle of, oh my God, and it's just, it doesn't help them by sitting there. Or just being a friend and listening for them for a few minutes will, it
yeah.
might help that anxiety or stress. So these are some tips that I would do if I'm at work and my colleague is stressed out.
Thank you. Thank you. Lamia, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, actually, and if I would like to add, there is a unique model. It's called Big Rocks. I advise all of us, yani, to visit it and read more about it. The Big Rocks actually focusing to the spiritual part, health part. When we say health part, for sure here, it meant the physical and the mental health as well, and also the self development part, and the relationship part. When we say relation, that's mean either our personal relation or even our relation with our friend, family, and etc. If we find the time to cover this for actually these four rocks, honestly, we will reach to the stage, to the maturity that we can manage each aspect of these four rocks honestly, fairly, and can fulfill actually our needs in a best way.
That's, can you write it down or we can share that
Yeah, sure.
towards the end of the event? That was very interesting. Thank you, Lamia, for sharing that. Now, we have a few more minutes. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask, and we'll try our best to address them. Okay. We have a few more minutes. We're heading to our closing remarks. So I really want to thank you, Lulua and Lamia, for sharing your expertise and insights with us today. Do you have any advice you would like to give here to our viewers today?
I Should I go?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Okay, so there's two books that I really want to recommend to everyone here. It's Dare to Dare, if you haven't read it, by Brene Brown.
Ooh,
So because she's a phenomenal woman, and she
I love
talks about
Breaking Brown. Yes.
how we can daring greatly and rising strong at work. I highly recommend this book. And the second book that I really highly recommend is Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. She worked for Facebook. Really, another amazing book for women in workplace and leadership roles. And I also just want to finish off with, us as women, we are, I call us superheroes. We're working women, we're wives, we're daughters,
Mothers.
we're mothers, we literally wear so many roles, and we're trying to be amazing and perfect in each one of them. So I think giving ourselves some self-love and kindness is really important, and for us to always feel that we are taking care of ourselves before taking care of anything else in our lives and filling our own cups. um, Otherwise we won't be able to fill anyone's cup, whether it's work or husband or kids or our own mothers or families. So I think taking care of ourselves is really important. Prioritizing ourselves and self-love, by meaning filling our own cups and needs before doing it to others, is really important. Understanding what toolkits from the ones that I've given you, whether it's journaling, whether it's taking a hobby seriously, whether it's an interest, whether it's balancing out your lives in that circle of life, is very important. Having support groups, as Yasmin said, women's circle, like minded people, we all need support in this journey. It could get lonely, it could be tiring. So finding your groups and support groups is really important. And I would like to leave you with a quote that's empowering, and I love it because it's just a woman thing. A woman is the full circle. Within her is the power to create, nurture, and transform. And thank you.
I love that. Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you, Lulua, for sharing that.
Well,
Heart is full. Heart is full.
I'm glad.
Lamia, would you like to share with us your advice and
Actually,
piece of
it's
advice?
very inspiring, Lulu.
Yeah, touched.
uh, Actually, she covered most of the things that I was about actually to say, but yani briefly, again, I will try to do my actually closing, focusing. We are as a woman leaders. We need to promote the work-life balance because, as Lulu said, that we are wearing several hats, and sometimes this hat yani, will be worn in maybe in 1 minute like 3 or 4 hats, as a leaders or as a mothers or sister or brothers or daughter, and etc. So having a clear time management and effective time management, this is will help and support for sure. Using the resources that's available, such as the well-being expert or life coach or etc. Focusing now, because it's very trending now to have the focus on the mental health. We call it the EAPs, the Employee Assistant Program. And there is an interesting book by Shirzad Shamin talking about the positive intelligence. I advise everyone. Actually, we are currently in my company actually offer this to our employees. And we are actually in the later stage of this program, and it was really useful and impactful, and it's really, we see like positive result actually has been showing among the team. In addition to that, assuring that we are having a clear recognize and reward efforts in terms of celebrating achievement, personalized recognition, focusing on the non-cash benefits, or focusing with the simple benefits, which is the appreciation, because this is really, yani, it's really effect, and really it's have an impactful positive impact on our team building activity, and etc. And last but not least, for sure, encouraging the professional growth, having a clear development plan for our employees, clear accountability and transparency of the career path. This is for sure, it will help to address any symptoms to the job burnout due to lack of transparency or even communication or the internal BNP policy and procedure in the company. I always believe on something, and this is, I used to say it, the business is all about people, and people before strategy. So let's take care about our people.
That's beautiful. That is, heart is full again. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lamia. Beautiful, beautiful. This was a very engaging conversation. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I don't want this session to end, but unfortunately, we have to end it. And I just wanted to thank you, ladies, again. For sharing your valuable insights and contributing to this Majlis. We have some beautiful.
Thanks to you, Yasmin, for giving us the opportunity to might have like even a small impact on the people that were listening to us. And please feel, I advise anyone who have any questions or concern, they can reach me easily, and inshallah I will try to do my best to answer them.
Share your accounts again on our page, and if anyone wants to reach out to Lulua or Lamia, feel free. And I'm just adding some of the beautiful comments we got were from our viewers. Thank you so much for watching and joining this event. Just want to end by saying that, remember, wellness isn't just something we should think about when we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. It's something that we should prioritize every day, because when we take care of ourselves, again, we're able to take care of others, the people we love, the things that we love to do, the communities that we're part of, the organizations that we're part of. So by taking care of ourselves, we can create a healthier, more balanced life, both at work and home. And thank you again to each and every one of you who has joined. Thank you, Lamia. Thank you, Lulua. And I wish you all a great, beautiful day. Be well. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you, Lamia. Thank you, Yasmin.
Thank you, Lulu. Thank you, Yasmin.
Bye-bye.
Bye.